How's it going, everybody? This is Adam Ayala, your modern psychoanalytical relationship specialist. We're back here on Your Tango. We're going to look over the article, 4 questions to ask yourself to determine if your partner is marriage material. Yo, if you can break this down to 4 questions, this article is going to be gold. I'm going to expect that 4 questions isn't enough, but let's check it out. So here's the contributor, Danielle Martin Jensen. So let's go down. Like I said, the article is always linked below. It looks like Danielle got her information from a video. The video is titled, "Did Not Get Married Before You Ask Your Partner These 8 Questions." Okay, so she used 4. Marriage is a big step and a huge responsibility, so it's no wonder we take the leap with caution. Yeah, not a lot of people. After all, it's till death do us part. But how do you know if your significant other is the one? So here's 2 issues I have with this opening statement. Till death do us part. This used to be true. Nowadays, a lot of people talk about starter marriages or their starter husband or their starter wife. So marriage isn't really respected that way. So this premise is not true. And the idea of the one, I might have to make a whole video on this idea of the one, but there is no one person for you. This is really romantic, and a Disney idea. Is very much a Disney idea, and Disney took this from a little bit of the Enlightenment period, if you want to talk about history and the Romanticism, actually. But there is no one. There are many people for you, and having the idea that there's only one person for you is actually very destructive for you in your life. One of the things that thinking, oh, he's the one or she's the one, this will make you, for instance, ignore red flags because it's used as an excuse for them. And there's a whole lot of issues. I'll make a video about this, actually. So I already don't agree with the premise here. Let's keep going, though. If you're wondering whether your partner is the person you should marry, ask yourself these 4 questions. Okay, so you're asking yourself this. This is self-exploration. Okay, this could be fun. Number 1, how well do you work together? I am in no way proposing you connect your careers. Yeah, that's a good idea to never do. Some couples can, some can't, and some would never want to regardless, okay? What I'm asking about here is the division of labor and responsibilities. First of all, and second, your ability to accomplish tasks together. Does one of you do all of the chores despite both of you working? When shopping for a new piece of furniture or an appliance, are you choosing or are you opposing each other at every turn? If you don't find a way to balance that give and take, or can never agree on everyday matters, you're in for a post-honeymoon nightmare. Yeah, this is saying, if you guys don't have the same values and likes and don't have the same meanings for your life, you're not going to work out. It's a deeper way of saying this. Number 2, how established and healthy is your communication and your listening? I don't know why communication is so thrown out there as the most important thing ever. Listening is the most important thing ever. People have a listening problem, not a communication problem. And listening comes before communicating and opening your mouth, or it should. So here, not all couples talk through every occurrence of every day, and that's okay. Okay. Some do, and that's perfectly fine too. Here's what matters. Whenever you are engaged in conversation, both of you should be respectful, but honest. One without the other compromises the entire interaction. Be respectful but honest. I don't know exactly what that means in a real scenario. Don't break stuff, don't throw stuff, don't use derogatory words or call them names. I mean, that's true. But be honest. What if this person is that derogatory name? It happens. There's bad people out there we're getting relationships with. Okay. There's another aspect of communication that few people are told to consider or discuss. Which one of you will defer to the other, when, and about what? For instance, if you will not jointly be managing finances, but rather one of you will be responsible for them, should budget or other monetary matters be directed to that person. This all depends on your relationship, but your relationship depends on that communication. Yeah, sure. So if someone's better with the finances, let them do it. If someone's better with, when changing diapers, let them do it. And the other person's better with when the kids throw up, let them do it. Someone is better at making financial decisions. Just say like they're the one who makes the most money, right? Then let them do it, sure. Yeah, okay. So know your roles in your relationship. Number 3, do you have enough in common? If you're asking this right before a wedding, you've really ignored a whole lot. Actually, this isn't quite the right question. Look, it doesn't matter how much you have in common. Yeah, it totally does. It's what you share, and that your difference enhances your relationships. This is not true. We know this is not true in the data. Opposites attract, but they don't stay together. So consider these questions instead. Do you share the same overall values and moral codes? Oh my God. Well, yeah. This is like number one thing. You really have to. You don't think about this with yourself. You figure this out while you're dating and courting and way before you're engaged. Do your skill sets complement each other such that when one of you is unable, the other is able to step in? Sure, this is really important. What is your relationship? What is your relationship with your differences? What is your relationship with your differences? I don't understand that one. Oh, what is your relationship with your differences? Jeez. So how do you deal with your differences? I think would have been a better way to say that, to make it a little bit clearer. Yeah, you had to work things out. Listen, the person you're with, they are not you and you are not them. And they are also not who you want them to be. You got to deal with that. As long as you share the most important ideas and values and prioritize your partner, okay, prioritize yourself and your partner, you don't need to worry. You should always worry and be mindful. Yeah, worry's not the right. You should always be mindful. Just thinking, oh yeah, no, everything would be great is the idea of the one, and it's always going to work. So you don't need to worry is a very destructive statement. If something is important to your partner, you ought to make it important simply because it's what they care about. This is actually a very underrated statement. There is these studies they're the Gottman studies, very famous studies about what relationships work out. And Gottman has gotten it down to, I think in a 15-minute interview, Gottman will know if your relationship's going to be good or not or fall apart. So you ought to make it important simply because that's what they care for. This is a major thing. So if let's say that you're a guy and you're with your spouse, right? And she's looking out the window and she sees this beautiful butterfly, right? Or a bird, or clouds, or sunset, something like that, right? Which to a guy, stereotypically, is not very meaningful. Guys don't really care about butterflies and stuff like that in general. They'll care about, oh, there's a beautiful car or architect, something like that. But she says, hey, honey, look at this beautiful sunset, right? Gottman has discovered that men and women, this doesn't matter, but just using a man-woman situation here. Men who can get up and share that experience with his girlfriend or spouse or wife, and they share it willingly, even though it's not important to them. They don't really care about the sunset or the butterfly, but they can get up, stand next to her, and experience it with her. They are vastly more likely to stay together and have a satisfactory relationship. Not just stay together, but actually be satisfied in a relationship than a guy who says, oh, I don't care about sunsets, you know that. Or a guy who gets up and goes, and gets up and goes and looks. That sigh is a communication of not giving a crap. All right, so consider these questions. Okay. You also make, yep. Frankly, I would probably never give a second thought to household decorations or interior design as a whole if I weren't married. I couldn't care less if I tried, but my spouse loves it. And so I make an effort to understand why he likes it and shows appreciation for how beautiful he makes our home. Yeah, that's nice. It's appreciation. She doesn't give a crap. But since he does and he puts so much effort into it, she does. And you'll learn how to care more about it. That's all good. Finally, do you help each other grow? This is a big deal. There's a reason for the term better half. I hate this term, better half. This goes into that same destructive ideology of the one. You're not half a person when you get into a relationship, and they are the other half that completes you. If that's true, you don't qualify for a relationship. You have to be a whole person getting into a relationship with a whole person. This is another video I'm going to have to make, and I've already made it. I'll link it down below. There's a reason the term better half came about. And it's not because true love encourages stagnation. Someone who truly loves you won't be afraid to call you out or won't try to hurt you when they do it either. Have you helped each other become more responsible? Have you helped each other develop empathy? Well, that's good questions. You aren't just going to physically age together. You're going to mature together, or you're going to unmature together. And it's important to know that your significant other will encourage your potential, not prevent you from fulfilling it. Yes, this is a big thing. This is probably top 3 reason why I see couples in my office here in Orlando or in Boston. It's just one person feels like, before we got together, this was my plan, this is what I'm gonna do. This ain't careers. And he or she is always stopping me and always getting in the way. This is a big problem. If you're gonna get with someone and they are trying to be a lawyer, don't get in their way. Don't stop them. Let them work the 70 hours. Let them do what they have to do, go to school. Let them get into all the debt that they need to do to accomplish that, because that's who they are. They're not your other half. They are a different person. Believing someone is your other half is very narcissistic and selfish, and it creates selfishness within the relationship. Oh, you're my better half, so you need to be doing this for me. No. You need to let them be themselves so you can be yourself. Stop worrying so much about what they're doing and look at yourself first. So this will come up in another video. So these are 4 decent questions. I pointed out some of my problems with it, and just my problem with the ideology of these 4 questions overall. But look, not too bad. And here we go. Danielle Martin Jensen is a writer from Central Coast of California. She covers zodiac and astrology topics along with writing on love relationships. Okay. So, this is a lay person speaking about this. It's fair. Everyone has something to say, and you should always listen to anyone. It doesn't matter if they have degrees or they don't have degrees. So I hope all you ladies and gentlemen enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, share, press the notification button, and all links will be down below. And I'll catch you all next time.